Wise is this really great way to send money internationally, and I really love it. There have been times when I needed to send money from Canada to the United States and also from Indonesia, where my parents live, to Canada. And to do that, I used to go to my bank's branch and get the transaction done over there, but usually it would not only take me a lot of time, but it also cost quite a lot. So I was really glad when one of my relatives one day introduced me to this app called Wise that helps you send money overseas, internationally, at a relatively low cost. And by the way, guys, this video here is not sponsored. I just thought that I'd share this with you in case any of you are also looking for a way to transfer money overseas. Let's go straight to wise.com and here's /CA because I am in Canada. So here you can see the options where you can send money to. So you can send money from and to various countries. And in this example today, I will show you the example of sending money from Indonesia in Indonesian rupiah to my Canadian dollar account in Canadian dollars. But it will work similarly for other currencies and countries. So here I am logging into my account because I already have one, and I enter my password and security code. So if you don't have an account with Wise yet, the first thing you need to set up is your account. So first things first, in case you're new with Wise, one of the first things that you will have to set up is your bank account, because you will need to tell Wise where you want the money to be transferred to. So here under recipients, you can add bank accounts. So here you would add the destination bank accounts, meaning the bank account that you want to send the money to. And in my case, because I want to send money from my own bank account in Indonesia to my bank account in Canada, I have added my Canadian bank account. So let me show you an example here. If this applies to you too, if you have a Canadian bank account in Canadian dollars, under currency you would add Canadian dollars. You would enter your full name, the institution number, and a transit number as well. As you can see in the drop-down list, there's also GBP, Indian rupee, US dollars, and so on. And depending on the currency, the country of the destination account, you will be required to enter different kind of bank details. So after that's done and that's saved, let me show you how you can transfer money. So simply click on this button here that says send money, and it will bring you to this page. It will ask you how much you would like to transfer. Here you can see that I wanted to transfer to my Canadian bank account $2,000, 2,000 Canadian dollars. And Wise automatically calculates for me how much I would need to send from my Indonesian rupiah account, or whatever account that you're sending money from. And here below you can see all the details. So they charge me a fee of 204,000 Indonesian rupiah, and they're also applying some discount here, I think because I've used it several times, and the total fees amount to 58,000 rupiahs. So it might seem like a lot of money, guys, but it's not. So this equals around 5 Canadian dollars. So after deducting the fee, Wise tells me that this is the amount that they are going to convert into Canadian dollars. So this amount here equals the $2,000, but you'll notice up here that the amount that I'll need to send is larger because this amount here already includes the fees. And by the way, guys, the fees will depend on the amount of money that you transfer, so it's not a fixed fee. So here it says that I could save up to 1 million rupiahs, which is around $100 Canadian dollars, versus the average bank. So honestly, I would say I'm not sure if the difference is that large, but from my own experience, I'm pretty sure that the difference is quite significant. And it also says here that the money should arrive by Wednesday. And this is calculated based on a guaranteed rate of 11,274.4, which is guaranteed for the next 24 hours. And of course, here they will ask you who you are sending the money to. And here you will just need to pick the recipient, so one of the bank accounts that you've added to your account to your list of recipients earlier on. And here, as usual, whenever you do international transactions, transfers, the bank, the institution will usually ask you the source of funds. So where does the money come from, right? So you have some options here: salary, investment, inheritance, loan, and in my case, it's from my own savings account. So I'm selecting others here. And below here, if you chose others, you have to give some explanation. I put savings in here and then go on continue. And then they're also asking you for your reason to transfer the money. Why are you transferring the money? And in my case, it's very simple. I'm simply sending money to myself, but it could also, in your case, be sending money for tuition fees, studying expenses, medical expenses, travel expenses, buying a property, or perhaps even sending money to your family overseas. So select one of those reasons for your transfer and then go to submit. And at this point, you might ask me, okay, I've selected the destination account, but how do I pay for this? And we'll get to that in a moment. By the way, guys, if you found this video useful so far, then please do me a favor and hit the like button. I would really appreciate that. So here we're at the review page and be able to review all the details of your transfer, including how much money you need to send. So this is the entire sum, including the amount that will be converted, including the fees. So here is the fee, $58,000. 58,000 rupiahs equals around $5. So in the end, I will get in my Canadian account $2,000, and that already accounts for all the fees. So that's one of the great things about Wise. You just need to enter how much money you want to arrive at the destination, and it will calculate for you automatically how much money you will need to send, which already includes the fees, etc. Okay, so before we confirm and continue, there's an important note here. It says I may have to pay a higher fee on future transfers if I cancel. So in short, make sure that you got all your details right and don't frequently cancel, because if you do over time, the fee that you are charged can increase. So one question that you might have is, what about the rate? Is the rate competitive? So far from my experience, the rate has been pretty good. So now that that's done, the next step is to actually pay. And this is how you do it. You simply click on choose how to pay. So for some transactions and currencies, I believe you can use your credit card or debit card to pay for the transaction. But in this particular transaction, sending money from my Indonesian rupiah account to my Canadian account, this is not possible. So in this case, I need to manually transfer the money from my bank. So here it says manually transfer the money to Wise using your bank, and the money should arrive by Wednesday, 3 a.m. So I'm checking all the details again here, and if you go on continue, then they will send you more instructions. Next, send us the money using your bank. You'll need to do this bit manually. Use the bank details below to make a payment from Wise to your bank account. We need to receive your money by Wednesday 2/14. So remember, I started processing the transaction on a Tuesday, so they gave me time until the next day on Wednesday to guarantee the rate. And down here, they gave me the details for my payments. So what I'm really doing here is not sending money over from Indonesia to Canada, but instead I am sending money from my Indonesian account in Indonesia to Wise's account in Indonesia. And for that, they gave me the bank details of Wise in Indonesia. So all I need to do now to complete this transaction is to complete this payment. And also a very important note down here that you cannot send money from an account in someone else's name. The account you send the money from has to be in your own name. So once you've paid the money into Wise's account here, so their Indonesian rupiah account in Indonesia, then Wise will pay out the Canadian dollars from their Canadian dollar account here in Canada to my Canadian dollar account here in Canada. So, and because at that time on the Tuesday I didn't want to complete the payment right away, I clicked on I'll transfer my money later. So you can just let it rest, but you will need to make sure that you complete the payment in full by the time that they specify. So here, if you go to your home page, it says that sending is paused for this transaction. So after I already completed my payment, I went back to Wise and I logged into my account and I clicked on the transaction and I simply clicked on I made my transfer. So I told them, hey Wise, I've already transferred the money. Now you can proceed. So after you've completed your payment, if you go back to the transaction, Wise will actually show you where your money is sitting. So here, for example, you see at 2:20 p.m. on that Tuesday, you set up your transfer. At 8:50, we received your IDR, the Indonesian rupiah that I transferred that night. And the status then was your money is being processed. According to plan, they will pay out my Canadian dollars into my Canadian account at 7:30 the next day, which was Wednesday. And after that, you will also receive a confirmation email from Wise that looks something like this. So, hi, so-and-so, we've just received your money. Now we can start your transfer of IDR to $2,000 Canada. We'll pay out your money shortly and it should be there by today, October 5th. So here again, I'm logging into my Wise account. and I click on my transaction, which is the top one here, and it says transfer successfully sent, and that was at 11:51 on the Wednesday as they promised. But disclaimer here, keep in mind it can take up to 2 working days for your bank to credit the account. So this is the thing that can be a bit annoying sometimes. So while Wise seems to be processing everything quite fast, how fast you can actually see the money in your account and access it will depend on your particular bank. So after getting this notification, I went straight to my bank account, which is a Tangerine account, and to my surprise, yes, the money was already there, $2,000 in my account. But I have to say that there were other transactions during which it took much longer. So it really depends on the bank that you're using. But so far I've used Wise around 5 to 8 times perhaps to send money from my overseas account to my Canadian account, and so far on average I would say that it roughly took me 1 day until I could access my money here. So guys, that was it for today. I hope that this video was useful to you. Don't forget to check out my other videos. I have a ton of videos that could be useful to you, especially if you're a newcomer here in Canada. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.